welcome to Weekly Profit Talk. We're coming to you live at 8:30 Mountain Time. That is 7:30 on the West Coast, 10:30 on the East Coast. We do this each and every Wednesday. Welcome and good morning. Today's topic is summer financial planning. Set your practice up for Q4 success. Easy for me to say. So, spoiler alert, this is going to be all about making your tax season next year a thing of joy and happiness, because it is quite possible. The object of the game is to make estimated tax payments in such a manner that you owe less than $1,000 when you actually go to file your taxes. Impossible? Not at all, I say. Let's talk about this a little bit, and we'll just give you some simple guidelines. So let me share this with you. There we go. Thank you very much for waiting. So first thing, I'm starting right off with the dates. You might as well circle those on your calendar, put them in your task minder, whatever you use to remind yourself. September 15th and January 15th are the third and fourth quarter estimated tax payment deadlines. Circle them and make a payment on those dates. Now, you can determine your fourth quarter reality right now, just like that says. This is going to depend on planning monthly for each of these estimated tax payment deadlines. By planning monthly, all I'm saying is if you are able to estimate your income and estimate your tax based on that income, divide that by 12 and make a monthly deposit into a dedicated tax savings account. Now, this is what I'm saying down here in the final sentence. Open up a new bank account if you don't have this already. Name it tax savings and use it only for that. Now, if you're in one of the 41 states that has a state income tax, that money can come out of here as well. Estimated taxes include both federal and state. There are 9 states that don't have a income tax on individual income. If you're lucky enough to live in one of those, then you still have to deal with the IRS, but not your own state. So, and I can name a few of them here. Look at my little map. Washington State, Nevada, Wyoming, Texas, Florida, Tennessee is one, actually, and New Hampshire also only has one on investments only. So, and I know I'm missing one here. What about South Dakota? That's another one. So if you live in one of those states, you're good to go, but you do still need to make an IRS payment. Now, the decision that you make right now to begin doing this, and I would take a look at June. You just had a quarter as well as the first half of the year end. I would take a good, long, hard look at that. And step one is to pull up your records of the estimated tax payments you've made so far. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I haven't made one yet, that's okay. I'm certain you're not alone. But you still have a half of a year to make up for this. And I would suggest making a payment in September 15th, certainly. June 15th has just lapsed a month ago. You can actually make a second quarter estimated tax payment. It will just be late, and put one in right now. It's very simple, by the way. You can just go to IRS Direct Pay. So let me go ahead, go to our next slide. The consequences of blowing it off and not considering it to be important. Penalties compound constantly. This is called an underpayment penalty. And when this is calculated, there's actually an additional form that's attached to your 1040. It's a form called Form 2210, and it goes to great lengths to calculate exactly how much a penalty that you owe based on your amount of underpayment for each of the 4 quarters. So if you haven't paid in the first and second quarter, you're looking at some kind of underpayment penalty now. Avoid making it worse by paying in the third and fourth for sure. And the third, again, is September 15th. So interest charges also roll up. You're going to have a massive payment in April. Now, that's the thing that I'm trying to avoid for you here. A lot of people treat taxes as a once-a-year trip to the dentist's office, and they avoid it because they associate it with pain. And I understand that, but then you go into the dentist's office and they're like, well, you got 3 cavities, you're going to need a root canal. Then you're leaving with a lot more pain than you anticipated. And why? because you didn't go to the dentist more often or perform regular checkups. Now, as a medical professional, you probably know better than the average lay person that you have to constantly maintain your health, but this is just an allegory. So, main thing is if you get to March or April, you're doing your taxes, and you suddenly discover you're going to owe about $12,000 or $14,000 in tax, you're going to have difficulty coming up with that. Perhaps you have it in savings, great, but that was your savings, and now you're paying tax instead. Or you may be like one of over 67% of Americans that cannot come up with $1,000 in the event of an emergency. You find yourself doing an installment agreement, and guess what? You're paying interest on the tax liability because you're paying it over time. And that's a cash flow crisis when you need stability most, obviously. So here's the monthly habit that I am suggesting you must develop for tax success, much as I would suggest that you pull the ripcord on your parachute on your way to the ground. So here's a how-to guide. Your best bet is seeking out professional guidance. This is a thing that I do. Certainly, we build our practice on it. Luke Skywalker had Yoda. Why can't you? But you need to decide right now to determine your fiscal peace of mind. So open a new bank account, a savings account, name it tax savings, use it exclusively for taxes, and make a deposit to it every single month. You can pay the IRS and most of the states directly from that savings online, by the way. You go to the online direct pay website and it'll ask you checking your savings, and that's how you do it. So if you're already accumulating the money in there month by month, then September's payment isn't so difficult, and you basically get that done. So at bare minimum, take a look at what you paid in tax last year and divide that number by 12 and start depositing that. But if you haven't made any payments yet in 2025, as I said before, you do need to make a large catch-up deposit. And let's make a good payment in September, certainly. And then you can make a more accurate payment that is due on January 15th of the following year. Thing I like about that is if your bookkeeper is on the ball, or your business financial guide, such as myself, you should have your financial statements well in advance of the 15th of January. And you can know with some accuracy how much tax you're going to pay. If all that sounds like it's going to cross your eyes, there is no shame in getting professional help with this. So the main thing is, and I believe this is super important, you can actually look forward to tax season as an opportunity to measure the metrics of your business. And if you owe less than $1,000 or have a less than $1,000 in refund coming back to you, then you've basically hit near the bullseye with your dart. So the reason I say that, and the refund thing, let me add to that. You don't want to overpay in either. And give the United States Treasury an interest-free loan on their behalf. They're holding your money and getting your interest earning and other potential out of the cash that you should be holding yourself. So you don't want to overpay it either. And that's where making good, accurate estimated tax payments comes into play. So hopefully you found all this helpful. I certainly love talking about it. I can make you wealthier each and every month of the year. With solid tax planning, as well as cash flow and profit analyses and strategies. So that's something that you're interested in. We're coming to you in one of 3 live media, Facebook and YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. And each of those 3 things have a comment section. So if you write something like help or more information or be creative, whatever you think of, we'll get back to you within 24 business hours if it's during the week. And we'll reach out and give you an opportunity to have a conversation with me. That first call is always free, so with no obligation. So let's talk. With that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Wednesday and the rest of the week. You're staying as cool as possible in the summer heat. And if you get a chance today, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So with that, so long, and we will see you next Wednesday at 8:30 Mountain Time. Bye for now.